Ladies and gentlemen, welcome for the first ever PokéPro tournament, and today we're going to go over a few matches. We're gonna show the matches in the semifinals and the finals themselves, of course, and we're gonna see together what great plays have been made and see if we can learn something from that. That would be awesome. Today we're going to start off with the first semi-final. It's between Davey on his Blister account and Dimitri, who's playing on Snott. This is a best of two series, so we're going to see two matches today and we're going to go over them in a second. First off, I want to congratulate everyone who made it to the semi and the whole finals. Congratulations, I'm sure you had some great matches getting here. I'm really stoked to see what plays you got, what great teams you got for us, and yeah, good luck to all of you. Starting off on the first battle between Davey and Dimitri. Looking at the team, we got on the side of Snott, which is Dimitri of course, some dragon spam with a fairy type and Venusaur and Rotom, which is very interesting. On the other side we have a more standard team, I would say. Most importantly, I see a Mew, which is not that common in OU that often. Charizard, which could be both, of course, with its 2 Omega evolution, so it's going to be really interesting. And let's hop into the battle. Snott is going to lead off with Garchomp, perhaps to get his rocks up, and Blister's going to start off with Mew, which might do the same. Mew is quite interesting though, because it can do basically everything, like set up a Calm Mind from turn 1. Which means he's gonna accept the rocks and go for an early lead. Clefable comes in, which might be unaware, making sure that all the boosts that Mew gets are not affecting her in any way. We're gonna see a Baton Pass actually into Heatran, which is a big nightmare to Clefable. Any steel type attack would do a lot of damage, no matter how many boosts Clefable gets up. Protect to Scout, which is always for free. And we're gonna see the Flash Cannon. So Clefable should get out of here and is gonna forfeit the 1 boost it had. Rotom comes in. Let's see if Blister took the risk for predicting it. He didn't, he just went for Flash Cannon, which did some nice damage, but Leftovers is gonna get Rotom really healthy again. He has to switch out into what? Into Mew back again. And there are still 2 move slots left for Mew to use, so there's no way to predict what this Mew got. Hydro Pump does a nice amount, 30%, but it's not gonna make that much difference because of the Leftovers. There's actually also a Sword Dance on Mew, that's interesting. So he's gonna pass into something else. Let's see what he's going to pass into. Another Sword Dance coming up, so it seems like Blister's going for game here. A crit would actually have taken him out. It's quite lucky though that Snott hits all his Hydro Pumps here. It must be nice. He switches out his Rotom into Garchomp, and Mew is gonna go for Baton Pass as predicted. Perhaps into T-Tar, or yeah, I'm gonna see T-Tar with the sand coming up. So this Garchomp is in a bit of a pickle. I didn't, yeah, of course it's gonna go down, but Roughtskin makes sure that T-Tar goes down too. So it's a clean 1 down on each side, and the rocks are still up. So I would say that Snott has a small advantage, also considering that Mew is very low. Excadrill comes out, which might want to go for the Rapid Spin here, making sure that Mew can come in at any time. Let's see if he goes for it. Yeah, makes the most sense. So Venusaur takes a little damage, which is fine. Probably gonna heal it off really quickly with a Giga Drain or Synthesis or whatever. Excadrill is gonna switch out again to preserve it for later use, and Mew comes in, which is quite risky at this point. But I guess Blister gets away with it since he's not switching out. Sand is bringing Mew down and Lefty's back up, so at 12% that's pretty close. Does he have anything to gain more life back? It doesn't seem and Gudra's gonna take it out. So that's another mon down for Blister, and Snott makes sure there's not gonna be any more stats being passed over. Thunders comes out with a Sprang stability, a nice way to paralyze this Gudra or go for a nasty plot right off the bat. It seems like Blister's team has been actually very heavy on the setup, and Snott is just taking any damage he can get, and he gets a nice crit as a reward for it. Hidden Power does some damage, but it's definitely not going to be enough, and the Ice Beam comes out to make sure Thunders goes down too. So Blister's down to 3 mons, while Snott's still on a healthy 5. Gudra is putting in work for him. Excadrill comes out and Snott switches out into Rotom, which is still very healthy. Levitate makes sure that Excadrill doesn't do any damage, and it seems that Excadrill isn't using his other Mold Break ability, which would have been very nice at this point. Hydro Pump does a lot of damage to Heatran, which is quite scary. I think Ancient Power is not going to do enough, so Rotom can make sure this Heatran is not going to bother him again. Still not missing a single Hydro Pump at this point. It must be a really good trainer to train your Rotom this well. So Blister here in a corner. It should be Charizard Y if he wants to have a chance of beating the enemy team. So it's never over until the last mon drops. You're gonna see the Mega Evolution. It's Charizard Y, so that's actually pretty nice, which means that a lot of members on the enemy team should be really careful. Sap Sipper makes sure that Gudra doesn't take any damage, but Flamethrower burns Gudra. I would have thought Gudra would went down by that, but it's really bulky. Charizard can take a few of those though, so it's not over yet. Obviously, Charizards also run something like Roost perhaps, make sure you have some longevity on it. Thunderbolt brings Charizard down to 7%, while the last Flamethrower made sure that the Gudra's going down. Let's see what's the game plan on Snott's side. He brings in Latios. Is this a Scarf Latios? Might be, since he outspeeds, and Charizard goes down. Blister down to 1 mon. And it's gonna be really close to see if he can bring it back. Ice Beam does a nice amount, but not too much. And Excadrill goes for Rock Slide, also doing about half to Latios. Blister's being in a really tough position though. 1 mon left, which is at 13%. Looks like Snott's gonna take this with a few easy Ice Beams. And the last turn of this game just went down, and Snott takes the first game, and Blister still has a chance to win. If he can win the next 2 games, then he's not gone, but it's a nice advantage for Snott at this point. Let's hop right into the next battle, as mentioned in the chat right now by the 2 players. I already got it open here, and looking at team previews, it looks like Snott is still going to use the same teams, the same Dragon Spam team. It worked out great last time, so why wouldn't he? Blister actually switches it up here, goes for a different team, also with Charizard, but this time some other interesting members on his team. We got an interesting Pokemon in Cloyster, which might be able to sweep late game if he can keep the rocks off the field, and yeah, a lot more surprises probably going up. Let's go right into the battle and see what we're gonna get. Blister leaves off with Latios and Snott with Clefable, which means he has a nice matchup, and Blister already has to switch it out for something and take a free hit, most probably. The Kraken comes out, which is always a great nickname for this mon. It seems to really fit it. A Moonblast doesn't do that much, and Black Sludge is gonna get rid of most of the damage. The special attack drop doesn't matter that much, because Snott still has to switch out here into Garchomp, which could mean that there are going to be some rocks up. It's the Confuse Ray actually, that's interesting. It might prevent Garchomp from getting his rocks up. At the same time, you have to switch out here, you cannot stay in and take the risk of an Earthquake or something like that. Horizon comes back in, is immune to the EQ as mentioned before, and Garchomp is breaking through the confusion here, which isn't that bad. Clefable comes out, you can tank the Ice Beam, gets frozen though. So this might be very interesting. Clefable was actually a pretty big risk to the team of Blister, and having this Pokemon frozen, if he stays frozen, might be very interesting. Does this give Charizard a chance to set up a little bit? Clefable is gonna stay frozen here, so there's gonna be a free turn here for Blister. Let's see what he makes of it. Goodra comes out, and Charizard Y again. Yes, it's Charizard Y again, which means that this Goodra might be able to wall it, pretty much like last game. And the Flamethrower comes out, does the same amount of damage, so it's this time Blister that switches out, making sure that the end of this game might be a little bit different than last game. The Ice Beam, which wasn't really a prediction, he went for Ice Beams to Charizard last game too. Make sure that this Garchomp goes down right when he comes in, and that's actually a big hit on the side of Blister. The Kraken comes out once again, scaring out and actually getting Clefable in here. Toxic fails of course since he's already statused, and it's gonna be another turn for Clefable to defrost possibly. Kraken switches out, doesn't go for like a Sludge Bomb or anything, and go into Yoloom the Breloom. This might be a setup set behind the sub, which could be very interesting. Clefable is staying in here, giving at least one turn to this Breloom, switching out into Venusaur the turn after. Bullet Seed doesn't do that much damage, it's not very effective, and Venusaur can tank these. Although I have to say, if you get this many hits, then it still takes on quite some damage. Sunlight fades, and it's time to switch this Breloom right out. Horizon comes back in, having the advantage over Venusaur with his special, with his psychic type attacks, and actually gets the poison right off the bat. That might hurt Blister a lot more than you think. He's already down 1 mon. 1 mon is poisoned and half life. While Snott has still a very healthy team, he still has Clefable to absorb any status that Blister goes for. And it seems like Snott's taking the overhand here again. Though the game isn't over until last mon dropped as mentioned before, and Blister is gonna bring in Charizard one more time to see if he can break this wall down. Clefable is gonna stay frozen though. It's actually been quite a few turns for this Clefable, so it's not really lucky there, but besides that he already had some good rolls and some nice hacks, so I guess it's really balanced that way. Air Slash does not that much damage. He might go for a few flinches, but Goodra's actually gonna break through, go for a Thunderbolt, and does around 66% to Charizard. Another Air Slash, will he get flinch? He will, so that's actually pretty big on the side of Blister, and he misses the next one. It's like Pokemon balances out every bit of luck right here, and Charizard goes down, which means that Blister is going to be in a really tough position here. Looking at his team, he only has a few members left, some of which are actually poisoned already, like this Horizon, which means it won't live that long. A Healing Wish might be an option here if he has it. I'm not really sure what he wants to go into. Keep in mind though, he still has the Cloyster, which can do a lot of damage to most of Snott's team members left, so it's gonna be actually quite interesting. He's going to continue Ice Beaming this Clefable, giving it a few more turns to defrost, which, as we all know, it's probably never gonna happen. At least not in my games. Snott is deciding to save his Clefable for later on, switching to Goodra to take the Ice Beam and sack it to Horizon, which will probably go down to poison damage. Let's see if it will. And it will. So it's a double down here. Snott sacrifices his one low Pokemon and is now staring down Blister's team with only 3 months remaining. Breloom comes out. If he is fast enough, he might be able to get a Spore off on Rotom, which would be a good thing. He could also go for Substitute and go for something like that. Sword Dance right off the bat, which is interesting, which he's gonna have to forfeit again because Venusaur comes in. It seems like Snott has an answer to every of Blister's Pokemon at this point. I mean, the options are becoming a little bit tight, only having 3 months, and it's gonna be a really tough story to come back from. Snott's gonna continue to just swap around his Pokemon, make sure that Blister's always behind one turn. He's going to go for the Confuse Ray, which is actually an interesting set. It's a set that can actually save you late game if you're behind in a situation like this. If you get a few lucky rolls, then you can actually bring it back. But it doesn't look like Blister is that lucky at this point. He gets the EQ off, and yeah, it's gonna look really grim right now. Garchomp is poisoned, and at the same time also confused, so he's just gonna break through. This Garchomp is unstoppable. Can I just get a mention on this? The Snott has really trained this Pokemon really well. They are not confused that much. They seem to break through a lot. So yeah, it's a game of luck. Although it wouldn't be game changing if he hit himself once or twice. Venusaur comes out, walling his Breloom for days. Sword Dance won't do that much. I'm not sure what Breloom got to damage his Venusaur at all, while a Sludge Bomb will do a lot of damage. Brings it down to Sash. Does he also get the poison? He does. This guy has been some lucky guy, but I don't think it's gonna be game changing. It sucks though to be on the receiving end. I'm not gonna lie, I've been there. It's really annoying, but these guys are playing it, keeping it friendly. He's going for the Shell Smash for one last ditch effort to save the game, and he might get a kill on this Venusaur. I think he needs one more crit. He doesn't get it. So yeah, that means that this Cloyster is gonna go down, which was the last one, and Blister is actually losing the game again for the second time, which means that Snott, or as we know him, Dimitri, is the winner of this best of 3 and is gonna go to the finals. We're gonna see our Blister again though for the third place, and I want to thank both trainers for these interesting games. It seems like there was a little bit more luck on the side of Snott, but they both fought really well. It was interesting games, and I'm sure you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. We're gonna keep you guys here. We're gonna save the other battles from a different video. If you enjoyed, then make sure to drop that like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. If you don't know what PokéPro is, actually there's going to be a link down below. It's a very interesting place for people that love Pokemon and want to play games with it. You can challenge gym leaders, you can ask questions, all that kind of stuff, and of course these tournaments. So if you're interested, make sure to hit us up. With that, I'm gonna leave you guys. I'm gonna look forward to the next match and see all you guys later. Enjoy!